Alright, much Abrew about nothing time. Playing some Modern Monument and 2 Dusk to Dawns. We do have a Solemn Visions and a Squadron Hawk. I guess this is fine. Worst case, we just Squadron Hawk for a bunch of cards and discard Dusk to Dawns. Let's Flooded Strand. Crack it. Grab a Hallowed Fountain, untapped. And just Solemn Visions. Start getting stuff set up. Solemn Visions land. Well, land to the bottom. Solemn Visions to the top. Pass the turn. See what our opponent's up to. Ooh, Fetid Heath. Alright, so this is some sort of Death and Taxes, I would guess. Let's Glacial Fortress and Squadron Hawk. Opponent doesn't have any colored mana. And I think we just go all 3. Because I'm kind of fine with discarding a Dusk to Dawn here. Just have it in the graveyard so we can Aftermath if need be. And we still have another one in hand if we're actually going to blow stuff up. Flagstones. Oh, maybe this is Smallpox? Yeah, this looks like Thoughtseize. Okay. So this is probably going to mostly be about lands. If we can keep hitting our land drops, we should be pretty fine. Our main concern is getting stuck somehow. Alright, Fatal Push. Yeah, I guess that's fine. And Thoughtseize. Opponent passes. We draw planes. Well, that's just Solemn Visions. Wall of Omens, Path to Exile, Seachrome Coast. Can we keep both of these? Yeah, I think so. I think we put Seachrome Coast. Well, we're just going to draw both of them, aren't we? Yeah, that's fine. Don't mind just hitting our land drops here. Play a Wall of Omens. Draw a card. Pass the turn. Because I feel like if we can keep our mana built up to survive potential smallpoxes, then we should be good. Inquisition can take our path. Opponent is down to 4 cards. And Fatal Push. Instant replay of last turn. Opponent passes. Well, let's play a Squadron Hawk. Arid Mesa. Crack Arid Mesa. Grab a Plains. And just run out a second Squadron Hawk. Pass the turn. So right now, we could get back Squadron Hawk Wall of Omens with our Dawn in our graveyard. We do need one more untap land, but we'll get that sooner or later. Not sure if that's worth it or not. Ooh. Opponent, 4 mana. More Thoughtseizes. They have Liliana, maybe? Never to return. Okay. Oh. Well, now we kind of want to draw an untap land and just... Alright, that works. So Glacial Fortress. And then I think we just do this now before our opponent can exile it. Let's Dawn back some random dorks. Get in with Squadron Hawk. Not an insane Dawn, but it's pretty fine. It undoes a lot of discard our opponent's thrown at us. Shambling Vent. Also lets us Wall of Omens, which isn't bad, to draw another card. Man, if we could find a Monument, we would close out this game super quick. Bloodghast, sure. Not super threatening. So this does seem like a Smallpox deck, but I feel like we're in pretty good shape. Hallowed Fountain. So let's just Wall of Omens, see what we draw into. Judge's Familiar. Alright, so play Judge's Familiar, I guess. Play Squadron Hawk. Play Seachrome Coast. Get in for 1. And pass the turn. Wouldn't mind, so what do we want here? Monument's still good. Any of our card advantage would be nice. Mostly because it would find us Monument and other good stuff. Oh, what do you got, opponent? Alright, they just return. That's actually fine. It means that they're going to have a harder time getting rid of this second Dawn, eventually. Opponent passes. We draw a Plains. Well, let's get in with our Flyers. Play Squadron Hawk. I mean, I guess we can just go full-on Squadron Hawk feats. The whole squad is assembled. Play Hallowed Fountain tapped. Pass the turn. And we don't especially care if our opponent finds a Wrath because we just get everything back. We're actually kind of okay with that because then we get Wall of Omens back to draw another card. Yeah, I feel like we're in pretty good shape. Our opponent isn't going to be able to start gaining a bit of life with Shambling Vent, which slows down our ability to actually just win. Opponent goes attacking. I'll block here. Double block the zombie, I think. We're kind of okay with throwing creatures away because we do have this Dust on. Opponent passes. Ooh, white main line is sweet. Well, let's do some attacking. Play the planes, pass the turn. So I think our plan here is to block Shambling Vent with Wall of Omens, and then just White Mane Lion it back before our opponent gains life. Lingering Souls. I think we're still going to White Mane Lion back this Wall of Omens. Lingering Souls, flashes back Lingering Souls. Yup. Alright, well, White Mane Lion. Pick up our wall. Ooh, Reflector Mage. Well, let's start with Wall of Omens, draw a card. Wall of Omens number 2, draw a card. Oh. There's a chance that wins us the game. I don't think we want to show this to our opponent. Let's just Reflector Mage. Bounce a Spirit, I guess. Get in with White Mane Lion. This is actually super sweet because even if our opponent has a path or something to kill our Ormondal, it's actually going to work out that we get like double Wall of Omen, White Mane Lion, etc. in the graveyard. So we can Dawn it back eventually. Sorin, Solemn Visitor. Okay, opponent's down to 1 card. It still could be path. Pumps up the dorks. And this is going to keep our opponent alive for a minute. Attacks. Well, we'll just... Actually, you know what? Let's trade. I want to know if our opponent's last card is a land. And if it's a land, they're going to play it to get back their Bloodghast. Oh, and there's the Monument. Let's think about this. Well, let's send everything at Sorin. This forces our opponent to do some blocking. Blocks. 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 Alright. So I think this is when we just play a land, play Dusk, flashback Dusk to refill our hand, draw 6? Not bad. And now next turn, we go super crazy, because we have the Monument now, too. So next turn, we have all kinds of options. We can go with the White Mane Lion combo, where we just play that a million times. We can flip a Westfall Abbey. There's a Gideon. Fires up Gideon. Makes a 2/2. Yeah, I think we pretty much just win here. 6 creatures plus Monument should be able to do it. Collective Brutality, kills a Squadron Hawk. Yeah, that's fine. Or we can just flip Westfall Abbey. Man, we have all kinds of options. And they're all pretty good. Wall of Omens. Well, 1, 2, 3. Start with Oketra's Monument. Play Wall of Omens. Make a 1/1. Draw a card. Get a wall. Another Monument. So play Judge's Familiar. Get a 1/1. And a Judge's Familiar. Play Reflector Mage. Get a 1/1. Bounce the Vampire. Play a Squadron Hawk. Get a 1/1. And a Squadron Hawk. We went from nothing to everything super quick. Pass the turn. We'll leave up the White Mane Lion to save something if need be. But our opponent's out of cards, so I think we just chump as needed and then Ormondal next turn and hope that our opponent doesn't draw. Alright, they just draw land. Yeah, so Ormondal should definitely finish the game next turn. So what we'll probably do is just use White Mane to make a token and bounce it back to our hand so we leave that up for future turns. Because we'd like to just sack all useless creatures. Probably wall, token. We do have 1 more Dusk to Dawn, I believe. So we could still eventually get the walls back. If I was the opponent, I probably would have scooped here. I don't think they can... I don't know if they have anything that comes back from this. We have so many creatures that sacrifice effects aren't going to get rid of Ormondal. I guess our hope is, I don't know, Path for Ormondal into Wrath, maybe. And even that, I don't know if that's enough. Yeah, pumps the dorks. Sure. Opponent passes. So we just White Mane Lion. Get a 1/1. Man, everything is pretty good when Oketra Monument's out. So let's pick up our White Mane Lion. Untap. There. Oh, Spell Queller too. Well, let's just Westfall Abbey. Sack wall, token. And with Spell Queller, we have even more protection. Because we actually can beat a path now, too. We can also do the Queller White Mane Lion trick to get rid of something forever. Let's kill Sorin and hit our opponent. Not really worried about Gideon here. We can just chump too efficiently for Gideon to really do anything. Sorin's lifelink, though, could keep our opponent from dying for a couple turns, so I think it's worth killing it. But I think with Spell Queller in hand, and a Ormondal attacking, I think this one's pretty much over. Especially White Mane Lion Spell Queller. That means we actually have 2 Spell Quellers, so we can stop the next 2 things our opponent does. Make a bunch of tokens along the way, and keep beating down with Ormondal. It's just a sweet little synergy. White Mane Lion, oh man, it's either horrible because we can't cast it on turn 2, or it is awesome. Here comes Gideon. Sure. I mean, I don't even know if we chump. We're at such a high life total. I don't even think we care. Opponent gets in. I mean, we'll kill Bloodghast. I don't mind making our opponent play their last card, but we'll take 6. There's an Urborg, gets back Bloodghast. Yep. Well, our tokens are pretty disposable. We draw Flooded Strand. We'll play Flooded Strand. And now I think we just go for the kill. I think we just can ignore Gideon. Hit our opponent. Down to 4. Play Squadron Hawk. Get a 1/1. Squadron Hawk number 2. And then we'll just leave up our White Mane Lion Spell Queller stuff. And Pestered. And that should do it. We got pretty much every angle covered here. White-Black Smallpox. What do we want against Smallpox? Needle can be okay as an answer to Planeswalkers. Maybe we just keep going wide. Maybe we don't change much. Our main concern is just that our mana doesn't get destroyed. Like turn 2 Smallpox on the play from our opponent, if we don't have enough lands, could really set us back. Once we get going, we don't really care about Smallpox too much. I think we can go down Reflector Mage, a couple Reflector Mages. Maybe go up Pithing Needle. Thalia seems... Well, maybe we can go up Thalia. Yeah, let's try a Thalia. Let's run it like that. Reflector Mage's bouncing spirit tokens doesn't seem that great. Alright. This hand seems pretty reasonable. None of our big hitters, but Judge's Familiar is not bad on turn 1. I don't know why our opponent always leads on Fetid Pool. It seems like a very odd choice. Well, that's Judge's Familiar. Judge's Familiar actually can counter the turn 2 Smallpox we were concerned about, which is upside. Opponent with the double Fetid Pool hand. Not sure about that keep. That is... I mean, maybe our opponent's just trolling us, and they actually have mana, and they just weren't planning on playing anything. But I don't think you can just keep 2 Fetid Pools in White-Black Smallpox. Alright, there's the Flagstones. Is it Smallpox time? Looks like. There's the Smallpox. Well, let's crack this. Get a Plains. Run out our White Mane Lion. I think we'd actually rather keep the Judge's Familiar. So we lose a land. Opponent does not lose a land because they have Flagstones. We'll discard a Spell Queller. I think we got to keep our mana here. That is kind of brutal. Smallpox was the card we were worried about. We do have enough lands in hand. This still sets us back, though. And, oh man, our opponent had the full combo. Lingering Souls discarded. Well, I think we just Squadron Hawk to refill our hand. And yeah, we might as well get all 3. Pass the turn. Worst case, it gives us some good discard fodder. Hopefully our opponent doesn't have another Smallpox. Oh, they have another Flagstones. If they have Flagstone Smallpox number 2, that puts us really far behind. Alright, Fatal Push. Well, they probably don't have Smallpox, because there's no way you Fatal Push if you have a Smallpox. And Lingering Souls. Alright, that's fine. Well, let's play Glacial Fortress. I think we're just gonna pass and leave up Spell Queller for a Planeswalker. Probably telegraphing it, since our opponent knows we have all these Squadron Hawks in hand. So they're probably predicting that combined with discarding the first Spell Queller probably makes sense that we have a second Spell Queller. Okay, well. If our opponent knew we had it, they were not afraid of it. So we'll take the free Queller value. I mean, even if it's temporary, keeps us from getting beaten down this turn by Gideon. And kind of time walks our opponent a bit. Opponent passes. We draw another land. Well, get in with Spell Queller. We have not hit our card draw. That's what we'd really love in this matchup. Opponent blocks. Interesting. Huh. Opponent does not want to go to 16, apparently. Gotta keep that life total high. Squadron Hawk, and we will pass. Gives us a bit of buffer. I mean, we can't stop just a hard removal spell, but this gives us a buffer to Smallpox not killing our Spell Queller. Deck probably doesn't have Path. Path plus Smallpox seems... Alright, sure, you can take a Squadron Hawk. Path plus Smallpox seems like a not that great combo. Come on, card draw! Opponent passes. Oh, good lordy. Whew! That is a good one. Yeah, let's get in with Spell Queller. Play Squadron Hawk. No more to search for. Play Flooded Strand. Pass the turn. Dusk also gives us a nice buffer to discard. We're kind of actually okay with just discarding it if we could. We'd actually like to get Thought Seized here. Because it does... When you have to cast it first, it's kind of like paying 9 mana for the effect. That's not nearly as good. Ooh. That's not nearly as good either. If our opponent can back this up with Graveyard Hate... Our opponent has issues. They did not cast their Gideon. So we will cast Dust. Come on, no extraction. Surgical extraction would ruin our day, ruin our life. Pass the turn. Anything but that. They can't get us with Never to Return, because they have to cast it first. I can't believe they didn't cast their Gideon. Okay, another Gideon. Sure. I mean, we're just gonna redraw like 20 cards. Or a very high number, not 20, but we're gonna draw a lot of cards here. So, Aftermath? Refill our hand? That's a lot of cards. Play a Plains. I guess we just play a Squadron Hawk? And discard this Dustodon? Well, now all we're missing is a Monument to go really crazy. But even just drawing 7 should hopefully be enough that we're gonna win this game. What do you got, opponent? Liliana. Okay. Takes down Liliana. Well, they're just going to prioritize getting in damage, I guess, while they can. So we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. So we might just, if we don't draw a Monument, we might just Judge's Familiar. Well, let's Judge's Familiar. Judge's Familiar. And leave up Spell Queller White Mane Lion to start permanently exiling stuff. Emblems Gideon. Would they draw another Gideon? Flagstones. Yep. Gotta sack one, since they're legendary. Flagstones is actually a really powerful card. Here comes Shambling Vent. Okay. Well, let's block with Judge's Familiar and just White Mane Lion it back to our hand. We are down to a pretty low life total, so we do have to make sure we don't die to random creature beats. Yeah. I mean, might as well just Spell Queller. We want to get it on the battlefield anyway. Discard a Squadron Hawk. Draw Plains. Whale. Kill Liliana. Kill Gideon. Play Squadron Hawk. Play Judge's Familiar. Play Plains. Yeah, I guess we just run out everything. And leave up Spell Queller. Well, even without a Monument, our deck is doing pretty well thanks to Dustodon. Seems like we can really fight slow, grindy matchups. Damnation. Well, that was a good draw, but we're going to spend our second Spell Queller. Opponent. Passing. We draw Hallowed Fountain. I guess we just get in with all of our flyers and just play the race game. Oh. All our flyers except Spell Queller with Smallpox? I mean, pass the turn. I think that's actually fine. We might double block the Shambling Vent. We're actually kind of okay with stuff dying, so we can dust on stuff back. I don't really want to just dust on back 2 Squadron Hawks. That doesn't feel like full value. Here comes Shambling Vent. This is also going to force our opponent to sack their Knight Ally, which seems good. Assuming they kill the Spell Queller. So block. Maybe they just leave Spell Queller alive so they don't have to Smallpox their Knight Ally. But I mean, it would be great if they kill it. They are going to kill it. Interesting. Let's see if they cast the Smallpox. I guess they can always choose not to cast it. I think we want them to cast it. They don't cast it. Alright. Opponent passes. Ooh, we draw a path. Well, I guess we're just going to spend this now. Mostly to get back the Spell Queller. Do some attacking. Yeah, let's leave back Squadron Hawks for chump blocking. Hit our opponent. Down to 7. And, I mean, we should just have lethal next turn. No monument, and we're just going to grind out this win by the looks. Pretty impressive when our... the deck being able to win without monument is definitely a testament to the deck. Definitely going to jump here. Still have lethal. We don't want to drop to 1 and then get... I don't know. If our opponent's last cards were Smallpox plus Collective Brutality or something, that could get us through our Spell Queller. And our opponent scoops it up. Sweet. Well, that went pretty well for Modern Monument, even without the monument and without our card draw. So we'll take it. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, take a second and click that like button down below. It's a great way to help support the channel for free. And you can find the next video in the playlist right here.